The best sales platforms for B2B success in 2025. Why best sales platforms now means least friction. If you're leading a B2B sales org in 2025, you've probably felt the same problem. Reps are drowning in tools, tabs, and logins, while buyers expect a fast, digital-first experience. That tension is real because selling has moved online while internal stacks have quietly expanded. The teams winning aren't the ones with the biggest tech stack, they're the ones with the cleanest workflows. Digital channels now dominate how buyers research, compare, and engage. Gartner projected that 80% of B2B sales interactions would occur in digital channels by 2025, and that shift is now baked into how modern pipeline gets created. When your platforms don't support a digital-first, omni-channel motion, you don't just lose efficiency, you lose deals. At the same time, tool sprawl has become its own tax. A 2025 benchmark found the average stack is 8.3 tools per rep, and 73% of teams report overlapping functionality, meaning you're paying for redundancy and asking reps to do duplicate work. The goal of this guide is simple. Pick the platforms that move revenue, integrate cleanly, and get used daily. Start with the backbone, one CRM as your single source of truth. A B2B sales platform isn't one product. It's the set of systems that power prospecting, outreach, meetings, pipeline, and forecasting. The CRM is still the backbone because it owns the account, contact, and opportunity record, even if other tools handle sequencing, dialing, or call analysis. The best stacks treat CRM as the source of truth and push everything else to sync back into it. That foundation pays off when it's implemented well. Nucleus Research found CRM delivers an average return of $8.71 for every dollar invested, which is why serious teams protect CRM data quality like a revenue asset. Practically, that means standardized fields, clean ownership rules, and automatic activity capture so updating the system stops being a separate chore. Data fragmentation is the fastest way to break the promise of a modern stack, especially once you add AI features. Roughly 1/3 of companies report losing revenue due to fragmented customer data, and only 31% say their data is ready for AI. If contact records, meetings, and outcomes are scattered across silos, your reporting becomes untrustworthy and your AI outputs get noisy fast. AI-native platforms win because they change daily rep behavior. In 2025, Has AI is a meaningless checkbox unless it measurably changes what sellers do each day. When we evaluate platforms, we look for AI that prioritizes tasks, highlights deal risk, and improves coaching, not just AI that writes a generic email. In other words, AI should guide workflow decisions, not merely generate content. The ROI gap is too large to ignore. Tools rated as highly AI native deliver about 2.8x higher ROI, roughly 241% versus 87% than non-AI tools, which is why AI maturity should be part of every 2025 platform scorecard. Done right, AI reduces admin work while making prioritization and personalization more consistent across the team. Adoption is already mainstream, but many teams are using AI in a disconnected way. HubSpot reports 47% of sales professionals are using generative AI tools to help write sales content and prospect outreach, often outside the core stack. The opportunity is to bring that capability into the platforms reps live in, so AI outputs are grounded in clean CRM data and measurable in pipeline outcomes. Design a lean stack around SDR and AE workflows, not vendor demos. The most reliable way to choose the best sales platforms is to start with the work, not the products. Map how your SDRs prospect, research, execute outreach, handle replies, set meetings, and hand off to AEs. Then map how AEs run discovery, manage deals, and forecast. If reps have to bounce between 6 tools to complete one task, adoption drops and data quality follows. A practical 2025 core usually includes one CRM, one sales engagement platform, one primary data source, and one intelligence layer that turns conversations into coaching and deal insights. From there, add only what directly supports your motion, like scheduling, enablement, or CPQ, when it clearly replaces manual work. This approach also forces consolidation, so you're not paying multiple vendors for the same outcome. Use a simple framework to keep the stack understandable for reps and governable for RevOps. The table below is a straightforward way to align each platform category to a job to be done, a must-have integration, and a measurable outcome, so every tool earns its seat. If a platform doesn't reduce clicks, improve data quality, and show up in coaching, it won't become how we sell, it'll become shelfware. Sales engagement platforms, where modern outbound actually happens. For most teams, sales engagement is the daily operating system for SDRs and outbound AEs. It's where sequences, task queues, and multi-channel touches get executed consistently, which is why engagement platforms have become central to revenue orchestration. Market demand reflects that shift, with the sales engagement platform market projected to grow at an 8.82% CAGR from 2024 to 2035. This category matters because it connects the strategy, who we target and what we say, to the execution, what happens every day. A strong engagement platform supports high-quality cold email and dialing workflows, and it should reduce rep busy work through automation, sequencing, and AI-assisted personalization. Whether you run this internally or with a cold email agency or outbound sales agency, the platform should make activity consistent and measurable. At SalesHive, we see the same pattern across accounts. Teams get results when engagement is tightly tied to real workflows and clean CRM syncing. When your cold calling services and email outreach operate inside an organized cadence, managers can coach to the same system reps use daily. That's also how you avoid random acts of outreach that inflate activity counts but don't move meetings and qualified pipeline. Avoid the expensive mistakes that create tool bloat and low adoption. The most common mistake is buying tools before designing the workflow. Teams end up with powerful platforms that don't map to how reps actually sell, so adoption lags and activity data becomes unreliable. The fix is to document the core motions: prospecting, outreach, handoff, demo, close, with frontline reps in the room, then choose tools that reduce steps rather than add them. The second mistake is letting point solutions pile up instead of consolidating. Overlap is widespread. Benchmarks show 73% of teams have overlapping tools, wasting about $2,340 per rep per year on redundancy. So every new purchase should come with a documented replacement and a KPI it will move. If you're using multiple dialers, multiple email tools, or multiple AI writing add-ons, you're paying more to manage complexity. The third mistake is underinvesting in onboarding and change management. Treat new platforms like product launches. Pilot with a small squad, refine the workflow, then roll out with training and clear expectations. When managers use the platform in one-to-ones and pipeline reviews, usage becomes part of how we sell here instead of an optional extra. How to measure platform ROI with metrics your team can actually act on. ROI is easiest to prove when each platform has a narrow set of outcomes it owns. For CRM and engagement tools, we recommend measuring activity capture rates, meetings booked, conversion by sequence, and rep capacity. For example, meetings per rep. For data providers, track connect rates and bounce rates. For conversation intelligence, track ramp time and improvements in win rate through coaching. Usage is a leading indicator of ROI, and it's also a diagnostic tool. If reps aren't using the system weekly, the issue is usually either workflow misalignment, too many steps, missing integrations, double entry, or unclear expectations. Nobody gets coached on it. The best stacks make it easier to do the job than to avoid the tool, and they keep reporting clean enough that leadership trusts the numbers. A simple measurement plan can keep everyone aligned, especially if you're evaluating vendors, rationalizing licenses, or considering sales outsourcing. Here's a practical way to connect categories to measurable signals without overcomplicating analytics. Your 2025 next steps: build in-house, consolidate smartly, or outsource execution. The right best platform decision depends on your capacity to run the system, not just buy it. If you have RevOps bandwidth, strong frontline managers, and disciplined reps, you can run a lean stack internally and keep adding automation and AI-native improvements over time. If you don't, more tools won't fix a weak prospecting engine or inconsistent activity volume. For teams that need pipeline now, an outsourced sales team can be the fastest path to consistent execution, especially when you want results without building a full SDR org and tech stack from scratch. A strong SDR agency or B2B sales agency should integrate into your CRM, operate structured cadences, and report outcomes clearly, whether the motion is outbound email, LinkedIn outreach, or B2B cold calling. This is also where models like pay-per-appointment lead generation can be attractive when you need predictable meeting flow. SalesHive fits this approach for companies that want a turnkey outbound engine without adding more internal tools to manage. As a cold calling agency and sales development agency, we plug into your existing CRM, run multi-channel outbound, and focus on booking qualified meetings, while keeping the stack lean and adoption high. If you're evaluating whether to hire SDRs internally or partner with an outbound sales agency, the best next step is to map your workflow, audit tool overlap, and choose the path that gets you to consistent execution fastest.